What's up, nerds? We are your hosts. I am Chode.
And I am Joke.
Sorry. This week, no, keep it. This
Okay.
week we are sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
And also sponsored by Raise Energy Drinks.
We are going to be talking about the new Hawkeye episode 3, and some DC Marvel trailers that dropped in the wow. I was gonna say previous future or near future. I don't know what the fuck I was going there with. Recently DC and Marvel both dropped a trailer, and we will talk about those a little bit later. So
Yeah, and then we will also be starting a new throwback series, diving into the Harry Potter films. Oh, it's been a long time coming. We're so excited for this. But this week we'll be starting with the Sorcerer's Stone.
sorry, I was giving you the old Spelliamus,
The
but
Razzle
okay.
Dazzle.
um, that being said, let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nerd. Welcome back to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, how was your week?
It's a very Midwestern week here. It's cold and snowy, but not as cold and snowy as this time of year normally is. We are still around like 36 degrees right now, which in Minnesota in December, that's not heard of.
Yeah,
It's
that's not common at all.
it's usually cold and like 2 feet of snow by now.
I bet there's like an inconvenient truth as to why that's happening.
Oh, you mean like global like sizzling or something like that?
Or like the changing of floor mats, climates,
Man
climate,
Bear Pig?
climate change. Yeah, Man Bear Pig. Yeah, he's to
Man Bear
blame.
Pig.
He's the one to blame for it.
Hmm.
Excelsior.
If only somebody had warned us. It is a very inconvenient truth.
Yeah. Another inconvenient truth. The Vikings managed to lose.
By 2 points. Come on, guys.
They
What
were
are you
up
doing?
by 4, right? They were up by 4
I
with like a minute left.
I will say in not necessarily disrespectfully or respectfully, but at least we're not getting shut out. Every game that we've lost, we've only lost by a couple of points. We haven't just got stomped. Like, you know,
Yeah, I guess there's that.
it doesn't mean much,
Still a losing record.
but it doesn't mean much, but it helps.
Helps in here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, on the flip side, the Wild have been doing pretty well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
go hockey. But other than that, I mean, this week's kind of been slow, you know?
Yeah, not real exciting in the winter months in the Midwest.
Yeah, you can either
Um,
stay inside or you can go someplace to be inside.
uh, a couple things that we want to talk about. Just kind of just touch on these things a little bit. Well, there's a new Peacemaker trailer for HBO Max.
Yes.
It looks Not only does it look so good and like action packed, but it looks so fucking funny.
I love John Cena. I've been saying this for years. I think he is hilarious. I'm so ready for this show. Also, we get to, even just from the trailer, I mean, we see that there's going to be a lot more like character depth and development in the Peacemaker. But he
Yeah,
kind of still has that good guy complex.
yeah. Well,
Huh.
like what we know from him from Suicide Squad is that he is willing to kill every woman and child as long as it means freedom. But in the trailer for this, he's given an order to kill a child, and he doesn't do it.
Yeah, he's like, do you need me to kill a kid?
Yeah, so maybe he's
Progress.
turning a corner. Yeah.
We do get to see more of Eagly, his eagle.
It's
They're
really just a lot of like petting. He just walks by it and pets it.
well, and they're like running away from like a scene where there's like shooting going on, and the getaway car is sitting there, and he's like, "Go, go,
Oh
go,
yeah.
go!" And he like makes sure that the eagle gets in first, and then the
Yeah.
driver's like, "That bird better not shit in my back seat." And he's like, "It's a bird. You can't really house train it."
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks hilarious. I'm so excited for it.
Yes.
And it comes out like in a month.
Yeah. So
gonna be
much
good.
stuff coming out.
If you're okay with waiting longer until October of next year, we also got a trailer for what, Jake?
Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel, part 1. It says part 1.
Yes, that too.
So the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Sony production of Miles Morales Spider-Man. I am
great.
fucking stoked, dude. I love, don't get me wrong, I love all of the live action Spider-Mans. I'm a huge fan. I hands down, and this is like the only credit I'm gonna give to Sony because they suck dicks at making Spider-Man movies.
Facts.
This is my favorite fucking Spider-Man movie. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
we've touched base on it too in the past where we talked more about like the specifics of the movie, but it's so fucking great.
So good. So anyway, we got our first look at it. There's a lot of oh my god,
little like teases and moments.
Miles is taller, so
and
he's
older.
aging, so that's nice rather than like the Simpsons or Family Guy complex where like nobody gets any older. So
or
he's
South
taller.
Park or,
The hair is bigger, which I like.
He is a little bit taller. He's probably a baller. I bet you if he had a girl, he would call her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stop.
I had to.
We get to see Gwen again. Still the same haircut.
But a little grown out.
Yeah, so she must like it. The hair.
And voiced
by Haley Steinfeld. The beautiful Haley Steinfeld. Who is also playing... Yeah.
Sorry, not to cut you off. Who else is she playing?
She's also currently playing Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series, which we'll get into in a little while. But yeah. We also get to see that Miguel, who is Spider-Man from the year 2099, he also has fangs and
arm things.
Yeah.
like the perfect. Like the I don't it's a samurai thing, but I don't remember what they're called, but
yeah.
The thing Batman also has them on his arms.
Oh yeah.
I forget what they're like actually called in the world
of
martial arts, but
they're the arm things.
Yeah,
that's what things. That's what they call them.
Yeah, the arm things.
I really fucking hope. I didn't see it in the trailer at all, but I really fucking hope that we get Jake Johnson back as Peter Parker.
Yes.
I love Jake Johnson.
He's hilarious and like his delivery of like comic lines, like just on a dime, like perfect timing.
Yeah. If some of you don't know who Jake Johnson is, he plays Nick Miller in New Girl. To give some sort of context.
That's probably what he's most known for.
He's just a hilarious fucking guy. I love his movies. He also does some very good drama movies that I've seen. I love him.
And like
he's so great.
Indie films, like he just did Ride the Eagle.
Yeah.
And like he was the executive producer for that, and that movie was
he was also
incredible.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, that's right, he was. The one who shows up to work wearing the original Jurassic Park t-shirt and bragging about how he bought it on eBay, and they're like, dude, people died. And he's like, yeah, you're right. But on top of that, I mean, we do get to see that in this now, they have a little bit more control over navigating, the Spider-Verse or the multiverse, which is really cool. And we will also see Miguel and Miles fight across multiple timelines and universes, which is really cool.
Yeah. It kind of shows them like while they're fighting, like going from like very detailed animation to a very not detailed animation back to detailed animation. So you can tell that they're fighting over and also we have to mention that Miguel is voiced by Oscar Isaac, who is playing Moon Knight in the MCU. So I almost just spilled my drink.
I know, that's why I laughed. But what's cool, it's because we even see when they're fighting, like in the trailer, like Miguel has better control over navigating the Spider-Verse, or at least
he's from the
timelines.
future. Yeah, of course he does. Yeah.
But he like while they're like fighting across like highways, we see him like hit his like wristband, and it's like a computer. And then it flashes like the year 2099, which is a very obvious nod to that he's Spider-Man 2099, which is cool.
Very cool. Oh. But yeah, go check out these trailers. We do have to get into sponsor numero one. Numero.
That'o izzo mino.
So sponsor number one is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, guys, we are going to talk about this week's episode of Marvel's Hawkeye on Disney Plus. It's episode
3 of the Hawkeye.
Thuffer and Thuckatash. Episode 3. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, well, we got. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, first off, this is an awesome episode.
Yeah,
and it's been the shortest one so far of the 3, but it did not feel that way.
No,
I mean, all these episodes seem too short, but. So sorry, what were you gonna say though?
Well, I was gonna say that we get Echo, which we saw her at the end of episode 2, and we get to see more of her in this episode, which is badass.
Yeah,
she's also an amputee in real life. We've talked about this across all I feel like a lot lately with Titans. The girl who played Barbara Gordon was an amputee. And then in Eternals, the girl who plays Makari is deaf in real life, and and now this, and the girl who plays Echo is an amputee in real life. I think
she's deaf in real life.
Is she deaf in real life too?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't know that. Yeah,
she. For those of you from the Midwest, she actually went to the Menominee School for Deaf Children in Menominee, Wisconsin, or just outside Menominee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, which is so badass.
Super cool. Another fun fact about that is that Jeremy Renner, in order to make her feel more comfortable on set, because this is her first like major acting role, he learned ASL so that he could communicate with her to make her feel more
That's
comfortable. So
that's dope.
good guy, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hot guy.
Yeah,
I said Hawkeye.
yeah, but also hot guy.
It's gonna be an ongoing thing
It's
while we
never
talk
gonna
about
end.
these episodes. Sorry, guys. Uh, a couple things I really wanted to touch on here. Well, one is we get to see during a fight sequence, uh, we see a Pym arrow. It's a arrow that Kate Bishop fires, and on the tip of the arrow it says Pym, as in Pym particle.
Well,
Uh,
Hawkeye shoots the arrow at Kate's arrow.
oh, that's what it is.
But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, continue.
yeah. She shoots hers up, and he's like, yeah. But anyways, he hits it, and it goes big,
Because it was blue
and
pin particles, not red ones.
yeah, and turns into a giant arrow that then smashes down. I thought that was really cool, just to keep like the little things consistent, that
Yeah.
they're all still like obviously in contact with each other.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
seen a
I
lot of
think it was
people
cool.
like hating on it, and I know that we talked about it off screen. I was like, "When do you think this happened?" And then so we kind of like got past my question of it, but a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, "Why would this be a thing? Hank Pym hated Tony Stark and did not care for Shield." And it's like, "Yeah, but like the Battle of New York happened."
Prior to Endgame,
Yeah. And
and
also
then
like the Battle of New York in this setting was like a year and a half
yeah,
ago. This is the most into the future
yeah, and
movie that we've gotten.
like Hank Pym, Janet, and Hope
Hope.
all got blipped away from
Yeah.
Thanos. So I imagine that whatever hate he had for Tony Stark and Shield probably went away when they saved everybody and brought them all back.
And the fact that Stark sacrificed himself for all of them.
Yeah, and they were at his funeral.
Yeah, that too.
So I imagine that they're over it. So people who are
Plus,
like,
Clint
why
and
would he?
Scott also like served time on the raft together
Yeah,
before getting house arrest.
yeah,
So like that rapport was already there. Not that
yeah,
Scott, who plays Ant-Man, was the one developing the Pym particles, because that's obviously Hank Pym. But
yeah. But still, yeah, I see. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
yeah,
Uh,
a lot of people weren't happy about that. And I was like, why? It's super
I thought that
cool.
was. I think that's a dumb thing to not be happy about. I was super excited when I saw that. I was
Like
watching
when
it
I
here with
watched
Nicole.
it, I was like, yes. And
Yeah,
then
I was
I
like,
watched.
dude,
Then I
that's
looked at the internet and I was like, huh, good point. And then we talked about it, and
no.
you're like,
Yeah,
no, you're wrong. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
yeah. Nicole and I were watching it, and I was like, "Oh, this is Pim!" And then they shoot the arrow, and I was like, "Big, boom!" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I thought it was badass. Yeah. And fuck the internet. You know, a lot of I feel like a lot of people who talk about this shit don't actually. They watch like the movies and think they know what they're talking about, but I think a lot of people never read the comics, never watched the cartoons,
Hmm.
and then they just watch the movies and you're like, well, this doesn't make any sense. And it's like, well, maybe if you weren't a twat about it, it would make sense.
But also just from the movies. I mean, after our conversation off camera, like
Yeah.
it made sense because obviously, like in certain iterations of the comics and stuff like that, like Hank Pym is a huge member of the Avengers,
Yeah.
which they chose to make Hank Pym older, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
Because there is a Scott Lang in the comics that it's like a runoff of, but yeah,
yeah,
I know. Um,
with that, you also had a theory.
I had it would prove to be very wrong, but I think it's such a good theory that it needs to be mentioned because it would have been cool.
Yeah.
But so in the episode, a spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, tune out, tune back in after you watch it. One, two, three. All right, you had your chance. There is there's a flashback in this episode where Echo is basically watching Ronan, Jeremy Renner, as Ronan, but you don't really see his face. But it is Ronan, and he's just murdering people
Yeah,
in
it's
this
from his
shop.
time during the blip.
Yeah, when his family was gone and he was pissed and blah blah blah. He also in this time kills her dad. So she's not very happy with Ronan. And there's like in the scene, he's kind of like jumping over shit, doing a lot of flips and like bouncing off of stuff, all ninja y and stuff. And I thought, uh, in the episode when he frees himself to get away from Echo and her like minions that was
The
tracksuit
tracksuit
mafia,
mafia.
and
Classy.
he runs into this room and there's a bunch of like shelves in there and they're all like following him in there, and she kind of follows but she's not like doing a ton. I thought I even like I totally threw it out there so like in a cocky way. I was like, oh, I know exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna start doing flips off of all of these shelves, and Echo is gonna see it and put it together that it's him as Ronan. That didn't happen, so I was wrong. It would have been cool, but no, we do get kind of a cool fight between him and Echo. Um, she crushes his
Hearing aid.
hearing aid. Yeah,
Which goes back to another thing that happens earlier, like just during the interrogation aspect of the episode. Because when she is signing and one of her people is interpreting for her, like she sees his hearing aid and starts like signing to him, and like he signs a little bit, and then he doesn't understand what she says, so then he's like, I want more cookies. And she's like, you rely too much on technology. So then when his hearing aid falls out during the fight, she steps on it to crush it.
knowing that it'll fuck him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we also get I think it's a really important scene as to why he uses the hearing aids. Later in the episode, he gets a phone call and it's from his youngest, Nathaniel, Pietro, Nathaniel Pietro,
Mm-hmm.
named
Named
after
after Quicksilver.
and Natasha, but it just happened to be a boy, so they went.
Yeah.
And he can't hear him because his hearing aid's broken. So like Kate Bishop is writing down what he's saying, showing it to him, and then he's responding. And it's like, that's why, so that he can
And
hear his kid's voice.
but you also see like Kate Bishop. This is the first time I think personally that she has shown that she realizes that she fucked this dude's life up.
Yeah,
Yeah, she screwed up big
she
time, and
starts
now
to
and
feel the
she's
weight
and
of everything.
yeah, she's been like super like a fangirl so far the past two episodes, and no matter how much he's like, "Hey, dude, like, I gotta clear your name so that I can fucking go home," and she doesn't really seem to care much until this episode, when he's talking to his kid and she has to like write down what his kid is saying to show him what his kid is saying, and
Yeah,
you can kind of see it in her face, like, "Fuck, I screwed this guy's life up."
yeah.
And yeah,
Especially
so
like through his responses, like not just that she's having to do it, but like realizing like how much his family means to him. She's
yeah,
like,
and how
well,
much he means to his family, I
yeah,
think more importantly, yeah. Um,
yeah.
oh, we skipped over one.
Was it
That's
Uncle?
whatever. Yeah, Uncle.
Yeah.
You go. You go.
So through the flashbacks of Echo, I believe her actual character's name is Maya.
Yeah.
I can't remember her last name in the show. If you want to look it up while I'm talking, that'd be cool. If your phone's near.
I
But
gotcha.
so Maya, when she was a kid, she's very close with her dad. She's wondering why she's not going to like a specialty school, and her dad basically just reassures her that it's because she's special, she's fantastic. But then it shows her at like martial arts practices as a child, and her dad wearing his red tracksuit because he's part of the red tracksuit mafia, is like, hey, I gotta go to work, I won't be able to take you home. Uncle is
Maya
gonna
Lopez.
Maya
Sorry.
Lopez. What? I should have known that. I should have been able to remember that.
Keep talking.
But
I got.
did you look ahead and find a
I,
spoiler?
s- I saw something and I gotta talk about it, but I'll wait till
Okay.
you're done talking.
But so he's like, yeah, but Uncle will take you home, and then we don't see Uncle's face, but it's a man in a well dressed like designer suit, like crisp, sharp, a little bit of gleam to it.
And we
Reaches
mentioned who
out his
this
hand.
could be last week.
Based on the comics, I mean, it has to be. But reaches out, and for those of you that have not watched this yet, and you're still listening, first off, shame on you. But Maya Lopez, or Echo, is Native American, so her dad is Native American, obviously. And the guy that reaches out, it's a monstrous man's,
Yeah.
but white hand,
Yeah.
and it's like that's Wilson Fisk, that's Kingpin,
Kingpin, for sure.
who in the comics becomes her adoptive father.
After her father gets killed, yeah.
Granted, in the comics, it's when she's younger.
Mm-hmm.
This, it's, just within the past, 5 years. But still the fact that instead of becoming her adoptive father, he still has kind of like a fatherly role, and they call him uncle. Yeah. What did you find?
Fuck. So I just typed in Hawkeye cast, and then she came up, obviously. But also
Alakua.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce her name, but
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking Florence Pugh.
So we're gonna see. Man,
That makes me so happy. It's gonna be the last. It's gonna be like the last episode and like the last couple of minutes of that episode, guaranteed.
I hope that it's the second to last episode.
Yeah.
And then she decides not to kill him.
I hope you're right, but that wouldn't be the cliffhanger that Marvel likes to leave us with.
Unless the very last episode is when we actually see Kingpin's face. But still be a good cliffhanger. Not as great.
Fucking that makes me if stuttering Stanley. I have a stutter. That's why I'm making fun of myself. I can do that.
Fine.
The Jesus Christ, now I lost
the end credit scene from Black Widow.
Black Widow is what's her name in real
Valentina? In real life, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes, thank you. Showing Black Widow's sister a picture of Clint and saying that Clint murdered Black Widow.
Yeah.
In Endgame, obviously, she dies. She's convincing her sister that he killed her. And now, by accident, I have now seen that Florence Pugh, who is it Pugh or Pooh? We always get into this. One of the two. It rhymes. She's in the show. So I'm interested to see where that's gonna go. That also rhymed. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Florence Pugh, 1, 2. Where will this go? Or goo? I tried.
You did.
It was not good.
It wasn't great.
I'm not doing all right.
Honorable mention. There's a funny part in there where Hawkeye and Kate Bishop escape, and she's like, "Let's take this super nice car." Which was a was it a Challenger?
Yeah, it was a 68 Challenger or a 68 Charger, one of the two.
And then Dean and Sam Winchester come out of nowhere and fucking carry on my wayward son.
Well, that was an Impala, but
I know it's whatever. But anyways, anytime we talk about old cars, I'm gonna do that. So
that's fine.
Brace yourself. But basically, he's like, "I'm not ruining that car. We're taking this one instead." And she's like, "Whatever." And they get in this other car.
It's like an old Riviera.
And then in the end of the chase, the fucking Challenger gets
Echo
this,
Maya Lopez is driving the Challenger.
and it gets destroyed, and he's just like, "Ugh, the Challenger got destroyed anyway. The hell." I thought it was hilarious.
It was funny. Another funny honorable mention is after they escape, they're on the subway, and Clint doesn't have his hearing aid in
Oh yeah.
because it's been crushed. And Kate Bishop is like, "Oh my god, we should get back to my place so we can let the dog out, like take him for a walk or something. He's been cooped up all day." And Clint Barton says something like, "You're right, you are a really good archer. That's great. Hey, by the way, we should take out the dog. He's been cooped up all day."
Yeah, literally
Like,
says what she says, like verbatim. It's
this
really
is
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But the episode ends. Kate has the idea to break into her mom's penthouse to use her computer system because she runs a security network to get intel on a couple of the guys from the Red Tracksuit Mafia's names that they learned. And while they're in there, Clint hears a noise, goes to check it out, and what happens, Jake?
Well, it's fucking Jack. Oh my God, what Kate Bishop's stepdad.
Stepdad to be,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and he basically puts a sword to Clint's throat
But
and
not any
says,
sword. What sword is it?
"Is Ronan's sword."
Yeah.
And then the episode fucking ends, and it made me really angry. Uh,
Just so you guys
so
know, there's not an end credit scene. We both
we both
separately, not talking about this, sat and watched all of them because we're like, that cannot be how this episode ends.
yeah,
It is how it ends.
it.
So
But
good though.
go watch all of these things. Sponsor too.
Spoonser 2, guys. So, as you guys are aware, we have two major sponsors on our show at this point in time. The second one that we haven't told you about this week would be Ray's Energy Drinks. Fantastic energy drinks. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. Tons of great flavors, and so much more than energy drinks if that's not your thing. But listen up, we'll tell you a little bit more about the energy drink side of things. But we'll also give you a promo code to save 15% off your order off their website. That's good for anything on their website. From their protein, pre-workout, protein packed desserts, also their energy drinks, but all that. So listen up, we'll be right back with you to talk about some Harry Potter. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, guys. Sorry, we were just talking shit back and forth a second ago before we came back into this segment. But to round out the second half of this episode, just like we did with X-Men and the Spider-Man films, we're going to do kind of like a throwback dive into some nerdy movies that kind of shaped our love of all things nerd. With that being said, we're going to start our look back into the Harry Potter films.
Woo!
We're going to try and do it week by week with movie by movie. Obviously, this month of December has a lot of releases, so we might have to skip a week.
Yeah.
But we will touch every single film, essentially. But we're going to start this week with the first Harry Potter film that came out in November of 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Unless you're British, it was the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really weird thing that, whatever, I don't want to get into it.
In the movie, they say Philosopher's Stone and Sorcerer's Stone, which was also weird. I think it was just kind of like a nod to like why they changed it. I don't know why they changed it when it came to America. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, yeah.
I remember seeing that. So I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna throw this out there real quick, just very fast. When I was a kid, we were reading the Harry Potter books in school, and a bunch of Karen, like Karen's
pre-Karen.
Christian moms.
Oh, the CCM
Karen,
moms, the CCM moms, as I like to call them.
Basically, we're like, they're teaching witchcraft in school. You can't fucking do that. And then we weren't allowed to read the books anymore. And our English teacher, I won't say his name, but was basically like, hey, unfortunately, this is why we're not reading them anymore. Your parents are dumb. And he didn't say that, but
he implied
and
it.
he encouraged us to continue to read the books outside of school, and we did. And the parents that were not twats let us continue.
I like how you say
books.
twat like the Brits would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking twats. Let us continue to read the books outside of school, and I love these books so much. And the first one, even though it is was it 2021 that it came out?
That's this year, 2001.
2001. Hi.
Yes. Hey there, guy.
2001. 20 years ago. I remember seeing the movie for the first time and fucking thinking it was so cool. Right now, my girlfriend and I are rewatching. She hasn't watched any of them. I know. But I'm making her watch them. She's interested in watching them, and we watched the first two actually now. But we watched the first one Saturday night, and the graphics are really bad.
Yeah, they're not great.
It's like really cartoony, and I was like,
not great, Cotton. God. It's not great.
Dodgeball, right?
Yeah.
I got you.
Chuck
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, the CGI is terrible, but still, like watching it, it is super nostalgic.
Oh, it's so good.
I remember the reason why I loved this, why I fell in love with the movies. For me, same sort of situation. Like in school, like we started reading them, then we're like, "Oh, you can't read them," and we're like, "Why?" And then my teacher was like,
"It's witchcraft."
I bought 8 copies of this. If you guys want to check it out and read it, let me know. Cool. And then, but the movie came out, I want to say, on November 1st, I think was its original release date, which is a couple days before my birthday. So I went and saw it for my birthday, and I turned 11 that year. So I was the age of the characters.
Harry Twatter.
Yeah, Harry Twatter. And Ron Wimbledon. And Hermione Granger Tools. There's a tool company called Granger. Huh. Anyway, sorry, that was a really bad joke. But like the nostalgia of rewatching it is like we grew up with these movies and these characters, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. We watched the first one Saturday night, and it ended at midnight, which is like we normally are like, let's go to bed. And I was like, oh, I want to binge watch these now. And Nicole's like, well, we can start the second one. I can't promise, because they're all like 2.5 hours to
Yeah.
3 hours long.
They kind of
Like,
started the like more than
yeah,
2 hour runtime.
yeah. Nah, I think Lord of the Rings did that.
I think Lord of the Rings came out after.
No. Yeah? No.
Around the
Yeah?
same time. I
Anyways,
remember being
whatever.
in seventh grade and seeing the second one. So
But anyways, yeah, so we started the second one. But I think something really funny here is that when I watched these movies originally, I was like their like you said, like their age. And now rewatching it as I'm almost, 35, I'm old as fuck. I was like watching it and I was like, oh my God.
you're old enough to be Harry Potter's dead
I'm
parents.
like, oh my, these kids are so fucking cute. Like they're so cute. It's so funny to like see them as like little kids like running around like doing all this. It's like, oh, stop it, you little cute kid. You can't do that. Like yeah, it's hilarious.
Fun
I
fact:
Yeah,
Harry Potter came out a month before the Fellowship of the Ring. Just
no
saying.
way.
Yeah.
The first one?
Yep.
Fuck me. Okay.
If you want. What? Sorry, mom.
So in my notes here, I just wrote "fuck yes." What does that mean?
I don't remember. But for those of you, let's bring it back before we talk about like a couple of like big moments that through rewatching it we've started to notice. If you guys haven't watched Harry Potter or read the books, I mean, please do. They're
Oh yeah.
fantastic. I mean, we're gonna
Spoiler
try
alert
not to
again.
ruin anything for you because we're assuming that most people our ages that are into our podcast have seen or at least know a little bit about Harry Potter.
Or read it,
Yeah.
please.
But so Harry Potter is the story of a young boy who has been orphaned because an evil dark wizard killed his parents when he was a baby. He was sent to live and grow up with his non magical relatives. And then when he became of age, he was basically sent off to magic camp.
Hogwarts.
Not magic camp, but magic school. He finds out he's a wizard, finds out that he's like naturally gifted. Yeah. Hogwarts, the place that too many of us, when we were 11 years old, waited for our acceptance letter. Not gonna lie. Um, but it's a coming of age tale of him like growing up in a new world, but also having to like deal with the evils that haunt him and the evil dark Lord Voldemort, or he who must not be named.
He who must not be named.
You know
Um,
who.
I actually forgot because I haven't seen the first one since like I was a kid. And now rewatching it, I forgot that Voldemort is in the first movie. He's like I
Twice.
remember like seeing like in my memory, I'm thinking I remember him like I can't say it because my girlfriend hasn't gotten that far yet.
Looking the way that he is depicted in the future.
Uh but anyways, there's
I tried.
a yeah, I just had to stop myself there, unfortunately. But I forgot that he was in the first movie. I remember there's a scene where he is basically on the back of a guy's head. It's super weird. He looks
It is weird.
nothing like he
Ends
is
up
gonna look
looking.
later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but also the big part for me was I totally forgot that Harry runs into Voldemort in the middle of the woods while Voldemort is like sucking a unicorn's dick. And
Blood. Yeah,
then
but the best place to get the blood is from, an erect
yeah,
penile.
yeah,
So,
it's like a good vein.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Girthy vein. Like,
yeah.
easy just to, like, get into it.
Mm.
Mm.
No, Voldemort's like eating a unicorn, like sucking its blood, and Harry runs into him, and they almost have a confrontation. And centaur.
Yeah, centaur named Fenrir.
Yeah,
I believe
saves
it's
him.
Fenrir.
But I
Yeah.
totally forgot that was Voldemort. I remember like the scene happening, uh, and even watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then when they mentioned it later on, he was like, that was Voldemort, and I was like, that was Voldemort. I totally forgot he was.
You're goddamn right it was.
It's so good. I love these movies so much. I'm like, we watched two of them in the past 2 days, and I am so happy we are revisiting this. And I love watching, even like with Game of Thrones. We talked about like Nicole never read the books or watched the movies, so I love watching her reactions to things in the
Yeah.
while we're watching the movies. Sometimes she guesses things, sometimes she guesses them right, and I'm like, "Fuck, how did she guess that?" And like other times she guesses it wrong, and I like try to like build it up, and I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" And then like when it happens like the opposite way, she's like, "You did,"
How dare you?
Yeah. But yeah.
But also, what's great is, especially in the earlier films, like Ron very much is the comic relief.
I love
He's
Ron
hilarious.
Swanson. I'm just kidding. Ron
Yeah.
Weasley. I said Swanson, but it was on purpose.
Wimbleby, if you will. It's a reference to a later book and film. Um, but he's just absolutely hilarious. And like, he's with Harry till the end, but then somehow doesn't make it till the end every time.
It's like, wait, what? Yeah.
Like, makes it, he's like, I'm going with you because I'm here to help. And then,
Yeah.
like, literally the scene before the scene where Harry has to, like, battle Voldemort and
Yeah.
Professor Quirrell, Ron's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself.
Yeah. We know you're the one to go, not me, not Hermione. It's you. Yeah. Also the Snape factor. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Who fucking knows? We
R.I.P.
got
Alan Rickman. Sorry, Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
It's
Fuck
Christmas
yeah,
time. I
dude.
have to refer to him by his Christmas character.
Yeah. I fucking love Alan Rickman.
Fantastic actor. And from all accounts, from anyone who's ever worked with him, just the nicest
Favorite
guy.
Favorite movie. Go.
With Alan Rickman, Dogma.
Yep. Dogma? Really? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's good. So is Galaxy Quest. It's a lot of those like those
Galaxy
weird
Quest
like
was
roll out
awesome, dude, yeah.
movies.
I forgot about Galaxy Quest. Yeah.
But
Man.
Dogma, I mean, it's
Yeah.
my favorite Alan Rickman film.
I also like just a good movie.
Yeah.
If you can deal with Matt Damon.
But it was like him and Batfleck like in their prime.
Yeah, no.
So great.
Yeah. We get it. You're snarky. You have a bowl cut. Whatever.
What? I don't
Matt
know.
Damon.
Oh, I was like,
I said we get it. You're snarky and you got a bowl cut.
I work as a janitor at the school. Sometimes as I walk by and have to clean chalkboards, I just see an equation that's not finished and I just have to finish it. It's like that's the plot of Good Will Hunting.
We got way off track here.
Yeah. Also, my best friend's Matt Damon. Ben Affleck.
Basically, this movie, it's the first Harry Potter movie. It's so good. Harry ends up confronting Voldemort, who is piggybacking on one of the teacher's heads, which is really weird.
Yeah, he's like a double face, not a two face, a double face.
He's like under a turban.
Yeah. Well, that's how he like hides the fact that he has like a conjoined twin's face like growing out of the back of his head.
And basically, what it is that when I won't say anything more than this, it's like when Voldemort killed Harry's parents, he also tried to kill Harry Potter because Harry Potter is prophesized to be
Voldemort's downfall.
And so Voldemort tries to kill him, and when he does that, he gets fucked up. So now he's trying to survive and become whole again.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's basically trying to regain his power.
yeah,
That's the simplest way to put it without giving too
giving
much
anything
details
away.
away.
Yeah. So in this movie, Sorcerer Stone, he's piggybacking on another person. He's basically like a parasite. I think he even calls himself a parasite, like in the
Yeah,
movie. Yeah. Like living off the back of this guy's head. And yeah, so it's
they're
fuck, man.
still incredibly fun to watch. They're still enjoyable. They still bring
Yeah.
back, the nostalgia factor. Even though looking back, and I mean, it's a 20-year-old film, so like the
And they're so
graphics aren't gonna
cute.
be as
If
great.
you're an adult now, go back and watch these movies. You're gonna be like, these kids are so fucking adorable. It's
Because
so funny, dude.
we
I
all know
cannot get
what
over
Emma
it.
Watson and Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint look like now.
Yeah.
But like looking back at them, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're in sixth grade.
Yeah. I mean, they're 11 years old in the first
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. It's adorable. Uh, we'll continue this next week, I think, hopefully, right?
Yeah, there's no other like major releases this week, so we will continue with Harry Potter 2, The Chamber of
Chamber of
Secrets,
Secrets. So
which
excited.
I'm just going to tell you guys now, it was my least favorite of the books. And probably no, not the movies. Least favorite of the books. But
Yeah. I
we'll get into it
I don't
next
know.
week
We'll get
with
into it
Chamber of
next week.
Secrets. But
Anyways,
with that, though, we are going to go ahead and close out this episode.
but before we do, gotta. Sorry, I fucked up. You can keep it in though. But before we do, we got a couple things we want to mention.
Yeah, like, I mean, first off, I mean, we do have our web store. It is up and running. Link is in our bio and in the show notes down below. So if you like what we're doing, you want to support us, I mean, grab some merch. There's all kinds of stuff like that. Also, if you like what we do and you want to see more like behind the scenes, full unedited interviews, things like that, we do have our Patreon page as well, where you pick how much you want to give monthly, and then it just helps us, do what we do so that we can bring you more content, more behind the scenes, cooler merch, and more giveaways.
Yeah.
So all that's in the show notes. Link is in our bios as well. Really, guys, I mean, we just love you. I mean, thank you for letting us do what we do. This has grown so much past what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're still a few weeks out, but we're coming up on a year of doing this, which is incredible. When we get to a year, there will be something for you guys. We don't know what yet, but
we also have a awesome. I won't say his name yet, just in case it doesn't happen. But we also have a huge, probably our biggest guest so far, that has agreed to be on the show. I spoke with him personally, and we'll leave it at that. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, he said after the holidays, he'll get in touch with me. So fucking, it will be crazy.
yeah, this guy is huge. On top of that, we do still have a lot of really awesome guests lined up.
Yeah.
Probably won't hear from any of them until after the first of the year, but we have some really awesome like artists, people that are in the comic world as well. Just a lot coming up. And if you like that, I mean, make sure to at least subscribe and follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to get those full unedited interviews, subscribe to our Patreon. Yes, Jake?
I was gonna try to whisper like while you were talking and see if you picked up on it, but you caught me, so never mind.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, I mean, we can't say it enough. We love you and thank you so much for being a part of this
Yeah.
with us. And this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.
Cheers.